Hi there. Welcome back to 30 Minutes of My Day. If you're new here, I'm Catherine, and it's time to start a new journal. And I was looking them over and over, as I do with the books. What color do I feel like working on this time? And at first I thought I wanted to work on this one, the Children's Hour. The spine just called out to me because it's in such lovely condition in spite of how old it is. The date's not inside it, but after doing some research, other websites that sell, where are we here? There we go. Sorry. Other websites that sell antique books, old books, vintage books, they seem to think it's from 1932 to 1935-ish. And I liked the title, The Children's Hour. I didn't particularly like although he's a handsome little fellow, the little soldier on the cover, I didn't particularly want to put him back onto the cover. I want to do something with this because with a plain cover, it just gives you so much opportunity to have fun. Now, it's in such beautiful condition that it doesn't lend itself to being shabby chic unless I take a sand block to it, which I don't necessarily want to do. And I was hoping that perhaps inside there would be beautiful color illustrations. And there are beautiful illustrations, but they're not color. They're sepia toned, and they're also sort of a greenish tone. And anyhow, I think I'll reuse the illustrations. I'm not sure how much of the pages I will reuse in it. But anyhow, so that gives you a hint as to, there he is again. There's the Boy with the Fife by Edouard Manet. I didn't know that. Anyhow, I was having trouble trying to figure out what to do with this. And then I thought maybe I would do my little play on what Johanna Clough does with her covers. And then do you think I could find a picture that I liked with children on it? Because I thought the Children's Hour, I'm just going to have a nice pleasant time fussy cutting out of I have a lot of children's school readers with those beautiful Dick and Jane type illustrations. I've got a lot of them. And I just thought, I think I'll make a mostly naked journal, but I'm just going to enjoy doing some fussy cutting, putting in some really pretty fussy cuts of children into the book, and just leave it mostly naked. With some fun different sized pages and maybe some pages out of old catalogs for the toy section, that sort of thing. And anyhow, I couldn't find anything. And I even went through my Eloise Wilkins, my little golden books that I have of Eloise Wilkins, and I wasn't having any luck. I'd used all the good ones that I would have liked to have used, because what Johanna does is she puts a circle. See, I already prepared this. she puts a circle onto, sometimes she'll stitch around it, sometimes she'll paint her little famous bows and ribbons around the circle, and then she'll put a picture of children, usually inside the circle. And I thought that's what I'm going to do. Well, do you think I could find one that I liked? I couldn't find one that I liked. So then I thought, well, maybe this isn't the book for me to make this time. And so I put it aside. And I found this book on my shelf, and I thought maybe a smaller book would be better to go after. This was one of those difficult ones because it was a school textbook. So it was bound with the sewing down from the top down, and the two big staples, and oh, they're so difficult. I did really well getting this apart because they're really, I'm surprised all publishers don't put their books together like this, because these things are just brutal to try and get them apart. But I did get it apart, and I do still think I will make a journal out of this book eventually, because it's just chock full of charming little black and white illustrations. But of all things, first thing I did when I opened it was I found this illustration inside it. And as lovely as it is, and as much as I would like to leave it with the Child's Garden of Verses, it's perfect to go on to the Children's Hour. So it's not going in with Robert Louis Stevenson's book, it's going into a Children's Hour. So I'm going to put her up there like that. And I think what I'm going to attempt to do is fussy cut this little fellow out and put him down here, so that anyhow, that's the plan so far. And if not, then I'll put a journal book plate right there. So we'll see how well this works out. But for now, I need to, it's going to be a tight fit, because I don't want to have to cut his hands off in order to fit her into that circle. So I thought I'd bring you along as I do something terrifying. I'm just going to get close, but I will come back and fussy cut him properly. Later. So we'll put him aside. And then she needs to get glued down. That's going to work. Good. So she needs to be glued down like that. Let me bring you down a bit so you can see her better. She needs to be glued down like that. Let's see where I penciled in very, very faintly where I thought I should cut. And let's cross our fingers that I'm correct. This is very, very nerve-wracking. I'd rather take it a little too big than too small. So let's take it on the outside of my pencil marks. I don't know if you can see my little faint pencil marks. It was tricky. So that can come in a bit. Oh, that's so cute. I'm really happy with that. All right, so let's bring that in. I can bring it in to here. Oh, and let's get that back up there. And the gold around the edge is gilding wax. So, and if anyone, this is the only one I've ever purchased. So I don't know whether there's better quality out there or worse quality, but I've always, so far so good, been very, very happy with the quality of this. If there's better wax out there, boy, I'd like to find it. I think it would be pretty cool. Anyhow, so we need to glue her in, and then what I'm going to do is similar to how I make a oh, I'm having a brain fog. A carte de visite, a faux one, and how I make my Two Nanas bookmarks using chipboard, so that it gives some dimension to the cover of the book. It lifts it up, and then I think I'll use some nice gold brads to hold that down. So let's use some I'm not worried too much about this, because once I get her glued down, I'll be gluing again to put it onto the chipboard. So that will do. So let's see. What's important is to cover up this where I had to cut around his hand, and to cover up the line where her foot is. There we go. We did it. Let's come back. There we go. Now you can see what I'm doing over here. All right, I want to get a wet wipe because I got glue on my desk. The next step, I'm going to have to be very careful and be very precise, because that brown paper is the exact size I want, and usually I leave myself a little bit of edging room for when I do the final cut with a craft knife, but I didn't, so I gotta be careful. There we go. Oh, that's wet. All right. I need to dry that off. I went through the signatures and then the folios for A Child's Garden of Verses. And it is from 1928, I believe it was. Anyhow, it was one of those books where I had to be really careful, for me at least, for my being able to get a good night's sleep. Take out some of the folios that had what we now consider, know to be inappropriate. They were, I have a feeling it's one of those books that got printed several times, had several editions. It seems quite Victorian. There's a lot of reference to the children having little friends from India, which is fine, but they don't portray it in a very nice way because, of course, Queen Victoria went and declared herself Empress of India. Her daughter was getting married and going to become an empress. Well, I didn't know this, but an empress is actually a higher level than a queen. Isn't that incredible? I never would have thought that, but an empress. So that would have meant that Queen Victoria would have been of a lower level than her own daughter. So apparently that's when she had herself declared Empress of India, so that her daughter, when she got married, would not have a higher standing than she did. At least that's my understanding of how that came to be. Now I'm going to use my good old trusty pencil again. Dan just got in. Now, I need this. I love this stuff, rubber cement. It's really terrific. Hold on, let me get some paper. And let's hope I can do this smoothly and that I don't have to start all over again. Come on. And you have to work quick. Anyhow, so it had some references that I was uncomfortable with, how they presented it to children from India. It had, what other references that I wasn't comfortable with? Not too many, so there were only a few folios that I discarded. But it certainly was written with the that presuming that the children that were going to be reading these stories or have the stories read to them were quite well off, because it refers to, you know, when nanny takes me up, or when nurse takes me up to bed, and that sort of thing. A very Victorian style, wealthy style of raising children where the parents really didn't do it. I had a friend who was raised that way. I say had. He didn't die or anything. We just lost touch. our families and lives went in different directions. Anyhow, he was from England and was raised that way, and he literally had a nanny in the home and was saw his parents for about 30 minutes a day. He and his sister had their meals up in the nursery, just like in Mary Poppins. And then they would be bathed and into their pajamas and brought down to see their mother and father before bed. So, such a strange... and of course, he was raising his children very, very differently than how he was raised. He says, I barely know my parents. He said, I started to get to know them once we were more presentable at meal times. And even then, it was usually only the dinner hour. And once we could stay up late, because for them, they ate dinner, 8 or 9 p.m. at night. Oh my goodness, my heartburn wouldn't be able to handle that. Whoa, I don't know how they did it. I'm trying to do this carefully. I think I'm going to pause it here, let this dry, and then we will work on the rest of this. It'll seem like we'll work on it in a few moments, but it's actually, for me, we're going to work on it tomorrow. So, I'll see you in a few moments, but for me, it'll actually be I'll see you tomorrow. And then, hopefully, this little fellow, I'll be able to find a way to put him down here so that he's still pushing her in the tree. I'll show you what I'm thinking, in case you're wondering, how are you going to pull that one off, Catherine? Oh, I will. All right, I'll see you in a moment. And we are back. And it may seem like it was like that to you, but it's actually Tuesday for me now. So, happy Tuesday. A few moments ago, it was Monday. I was able to, hold on, there we go. So we have this little lady ready to go. She spent the night under some bricks, and she's happier for it. Now let's get this little man off of here. Having the night to wait for her, and I had to get other things done, actually was good. It gave me time to think about this book, because even though it's quite old, what did we say? It was sometime between 1832 and 1838. I'll have to rewatch and see. It didn't have a date inside it, but I found it on several antique book sellers' pages, and they had given it in the 1830s for being printed. And whoever owned it kept it in impeccable condition. And as pretty as that is, I, believe it or not, I want it to be a little rougher. So we'll deal with that when we deal with that. Let's get her finished up, because we're already running behind on things. So let's see if that's long enough. It is. Okay. So you're going to need your, let's use this one. It's got a fresh blade in it. Freshly snapped off blade. And get that as close as I can to the edge that I already cut, because I went and made it the size that that's good. Good. See, that's not going to. It's better to take it slow and easy when you have to use one of these kind of rulers, because they slip and slide. I'd rather use one of my stainless steel rulers that has cork on the back, because it will, the cork holds it. Do you see what I mean here? Let's see if we can do it anyways. The cork will hold it in place better, and it's not quite so nerve-wracking that your knife is going to jump. So much nicer. There we go. That's going to need some help. But that's what a sand block is for. So that's nice. This may come up a bit. I don't know yet. A nice thing to do is to run your knife along the edge until you feel it hit that, the paper that you've already glued down. And then you'll know that you've got the edge, if the paper is thick enough. And I think it moved. I think I felt it move. So we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that too. Again, that's what, yeah, look at that mess. That's what our standing block is for. Oh yeah, that's, thank goodness for our sanding block. There we go, not so bad. And here we go again. Let's find the edge. I've got to stop being so vigorous and trying to press so hard. I have to remind myself that you're better off doing 20 strokes down the ruler with not as much pressure than doing 10 strokes down the ruler with more forceful pressure. Which means it requires me to be patient, which that's a virtue I need to work on. Let's get that to push down and see where we are here, especially with this side. That's going to need a new edge. Hopefully I can just take that off. Let's see, especially if I don't press too hard. But I'm a little scared. Yeah, that's not even. We're gonna have to bring it in. Maybe I can, you know what? I'm not gonna keep cutting away at it. Maybe I can, oh, I'm hitting things here. Maybe I can bring it in with this and even it out a bit more. Plus we're going to age it. So this is where we're going to use our sanding block and do like a 45-degree angle to take that sharp edge off. Gives it a more professional finish. And then I've got to decide whether I'm going to ink that or whether I'm going to go over it with the gold gilding wax. But I can decide that after I lay it on the book cover and take a look, see how it's looking, and see if I'm happy with it. It would be nice if I've got room for both the little boy who's pushing her on the swing and a book plate for the title. That would make me very, very happy. We'll see. Now you might be thinking, why are you doing the back, Catherine? It's going to get glued down onto the book. And that's very true, but it just ensures that this edge really is nice and smooth, that if there's been any displacement because of the box cutter, see how here there's some displacement. I might push that down a bit before I that's better, before I sand it some more. Well, I hope you're all doing well. We're having the strangest end of August. It's trying to decide whether it feels like just jumping both feet right into September for us, weather-wise. September, for me, September and October are probably my most favorite months because the nights are really nice and cool. The morning is lovely and cool, like put a little sweater on. But then by the time the sun has got a little higher in the sky, as long as it's a sunny day, it can still get quite hot and very comfortable and very summer-like. And that seems to be what it's doing right now. Like, I've been putting on my flannel jammies in the morning, and before I head out to take out Miss Kirby for her morning constitutional in the backyard, not down the street. Yikes, can you imagine the neighbors? So she's out again. So a little time consuming. I'm going to take a bit of that pointiness off the corners, but not round it too much. But I don't want it too precise of a point. I'm thinking, now that I'm looking at her more, that I may do a bit of both, a bit of inking and a bit of gold gilding wax. Oh, sorry about that. You suddenly felt the earth move. Now, I'm going to get my good old paintbrush out and dust this off. Okay, done. So there she is. Where's the book? Here's the book. So see that corner. Now that the dust is gone, you can see little areas that still need just a bit of tweaking. I will be doing my good old securing it down extra secure with brads as well. Oh, I like that. And then when I fussy cut him out and put him down there, I think I may have room. Let's get him done first, and then we'll see. So I'm going to pause while I fussy cut so that we don't waste too much time. Okay, so he's partially cut out. I decided to see if I felt like saving some of the grass or not. I'm not sure yet. It's so cute seeing a little boy with black curly hair. I have two sons, and one was a little blondie with very straight hair, and the other came out black hair with curls, curls, curls. Trying to decide if I want to bring the grass down a little lower. And maybe move him over a bit. That's a bit better. I don't think I like the grass. I think I just want him. I'm not going to rule out the little flowers. So here we go. Are any of you gasping and going, Catherine, I like the grass? Sorry. But I didn't. It was dominating. For me, it was distracting away from how cute she is. Because even he is still up in the air. I may very well just opt for the book plate. But to take a moment and fussy cut to see whether I want him there or not doesn't take a second. I also liked when little boys, and over in England I believe some of them still do, when little boys wore shoes with straps on them. I know the royal children do. When you saw pictures of William and Harry and Prince George and Prince Louis, when they're little and they wear short pants. I forget what age they're finally allowed to wear long pants to special occasions, but otherwise they're expected to wear short pants. But their little shoes have the little buckle strap. And I know certainly where I live in Canada, buckle strap shoes are assumed to be little girl shoes, not little boy shoes. And I think they're darling for little boys and look really cute. There we go. All right, so if he goes down here, let's see. I don't want these. These have the little catches that will be good someday for, you know, sari silk or that. Hold on. I'm going to pause so I don't waste time. So, these are too big. These are the ones I got the other week. They're genuinely old. All that wear and tear. As I like to say, Mother Nature and Father Time did it. These ones are not. These ones were new and I rusted them. So, and one of them, this one, I have coated in clear nail polish. This is just the plain rust. Not sure I like the oval competing with the round. That seems too small. Let's put you here. Ah, sweet little boy. You may have to go on a page inside the book because I think I just like that. I think I just like it like that. And we'll age the edges, put a little tiny bit of gold along the sides because it's thick and it's got that 3D effect. So the next time you see it, it should be aged a bit more. And I may bring this up a bit. And it will be looking very different than when you saw it last. Here, it always looks better when you can put a label inside. That's not necessarily its title, but that always gives it the better effect when you can see what it would look like having a label inside. Well, thanks for joining me today. The next time we get together, perhaps over the weekend or perhaps next Monday or so, it's going to look very, very different than how it looks right now. So that'll be fun for you in a way. Well, I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for joining me, as I said before, and take care, and we'll get together soon. Bye.